Alright guys, it's Ben again with Coyote Outdoors. I'm going to do an EDC video or an everyday carry video. I don't carry that much stuff on me on a day-to-day basis, but I'll go over the things I do carry. We'll start over here with the flashlight. This is an S1 Baton by Olight. I actually got this out of a Battle Box. I'm a Battle Box subscriber. And I really like this little light. It's a very bright light for what size. And one of the things I like about it most, if I can find something here, yeah, there you go. It's got a little magnetic base on it. It probably doesn't stick better. This is some kind of pot metal, but it's got a magnetic base on it. And that's actually, it works really good. I use it all the time, especially when I'm working on a car. I like sticking that on the underside of the hood. I'll have links to all of these that I can find links for in the box. I know the knife here, I can't find a link for, but I'll get to that. It just takes one 2, 3 battery, and I'm not a big fan of those, but for the size, I just don't think you can really beat this little flashlight here. It's got a little strap on it. You don't have to have that on that, but I do. It makes it easier to pull it out of my coat pocket when I want to use it. So that's the flashlight I like to carry. Like I said, that's just an S1 Baton Olight. It's a pretty nice little light. The next thing I'm going to move on to here is this is an automatic knife. As of last October, automatic knives are legal in the state of Michigan, and that's where I'm at in Michigan. You can see this thing is significantly wore. I've carried this for a year now. I really like it, and the reason I can't find a link on this is I don't remember what the brand name on it is. It's got a little lobster here on the pocket clip, but I can't remember what brand name it is, and I can't find the box or the paperwork that I got with it. I've sharpened it 2 or 3 times. It's got a real nice blade on it. There's not a lot of play in the blade like a lot of the automatic knives that I've come across with. That's what I went with this one. I bought it at my local gun shop for about $100, and I was really stoked when automatic knives came out, where it became legal in Michigan, because I really wanted to get one. I really like them. It's got a window breaker there on the back, a little lanyard hole, but it's got like almost a sticky texture to it, so it holds in your hand real nice, doesn't slip out. Before this one, I actually used to carry this one. This is a Boker brand. It's they call it their Kalashnikov 47 knife. Came in like a box that was shaped like an AK-47 magazine. I only carried this one for about 2 weeks, and the tip broke off, just the very end tip. And I don't remember how I broke it off, but I just remember I was pretty disappointed because I spent about $80 on this knife at a local Army surplus store by my house. But other than that, I really liked this one, but I had to stop carrying it because I broke the tip. One of these days I'll reprofile the blade and sharpen it and, get that one back. But this one opens up to the side, and it's got a little push button. I prefer the ones that come out the front so I can have a good grip on them. I don't have to move my fingers to allow the blade to pass by. Okay? And then the next thing I carry every day, this is just a generic set of lock picks. Now you can go out and spend all the money in the world you want on lock picks, but I like this one. It's in a nice slim case. I have a bigger set that when I'm wearing my heavy coat, my Carhartt, I keep in the front pocket. But this one's great if I'm just wearing a hoodie or walking around in my cargo shorts, my 511s. It's got just about everything in here you need. There's actually probably only about 3 picks and 1 or 2 of the tension wrenches. Like you see, that one's bent. I use that one a lot. Tension wrenches that I use, but I like the whole set because every now and then one of these other picks come in handy. I memean, really, all I use is the basic rake, a feeler rake. I use this torsion wrench because it's springy. It holds in there better. And then I use that torsion wrench. I like this one because it's got a 45. It keeps my hand out of the way a little bit when I'm trying to pick. Those are the ones I use 95% of the time. I mean, every now and then I'll use the bigger rake there, or maybe the finer feeler. But that's pretty rare. I mean, that's what I like. I bought these for, I think, like $12.99 online. Did not spend a lot of them. I have a bigger set, like I said, that's in a nice zip-up case that I spent around $80 on. That if I know I'm going to be doing a lock picking, like all my friends know I can pick locks. The guys at work know I can pick locks, so I get asked to do it quite often. If I know I'm going to do a lock pick job, I've got a bigger zip-up case of these that work really, that I like a little better. The tools seem to be a little better quality, but this one works great. I've got my watch that I wear all the time. This is a Fossil hybrid watch. I did a video on this one on another one of my videos on YouTube. So if you're interested in some more information on that, go on there. But I like this one because it's a hybrid. It is a smartwatch, but it's an analog face. It does all kinds of cool stuff like link with your phone, track your steps, take pictures with the side here, all kinds of cool stuff. Now we're going to move into the other pieces that I carry every day. I got two different ones here because it depends on what I'm doing that day. If I'm just walking around in a t-shirt and shorts, I'll carry the smaller North American here. That's 22 Magnum. It's this little guy, 22 Magnum. And I've got this leather holster here for it. It holds 5 extra rounds in the side. All of these are unloaded. As you can tell, this one's racked back and the magazine's out of it. That's the biggest pain about this North American Arms here. And I want to get their Sidewinder to update this because the Sidewinder flips open out of the side like a standard revolver, while this one you've actually got to pull the front pin out, remove the cylinder, reload it. It actually takes quite some time. I put some custom grips on it here. Some nice American Eagle grips there. They got American Eagle head. I paid about $200 for this gun, probably going on about 5 years ago. This one's been a daily carry for me for about 5 years now, and I really like it. I take it out every couple of days, wipe it down just to make sure I'm not getting any rust built up on it. Make sure everything's functioning like I think everybody should with their everyday carry piece. I like this one too because it's got a half cock position. You got these notches in between the cylinders, and you can actually drop the hammer on one of those notches. It locks the cylinder, and you know your hammer is not resting on a live round. So that's a real good feature that I like. And once I stick it in this little carry holster, which just slips down into your pocket, you don't even know that you're carrying a gun, honestly. This is a Joe Shannon holster. I probably paid about $100 for this online, but I've carried it for 5 years, and other than a little bit of wear on the edges, it's still in great shape, so I can't complain. So that's the North American Arms 22 Magnum that I carry. Alright, now for the second piece that I carry every day. This is my Cal-Tech PF9. It's in a 9mm. It's a great little gun. I've probably got 2,000, 2,500 rounds to this thing at the range. It still functions great, still carries great. It's got a nice little magazine. It carries 7 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. 9mm hollow points. These ones I got in here now are Blazer hollow points. Actually, you know what? These aren't Blazer. These are my hand-loaded rounds. The brass is Blazer, but the projectiles I think are a Winchester. These are my hand-loaded rounds that I've done here. And, you can compare that to the 22 Magnum. It's a pretty size difference. I mean, that Magnum is so loud that I think that would scare most people away just firing that thing. But, like I said, 7 rounds. I love the magazine size on it because you can carry multiple magazines with really no effort. I've had this, again, for 5 or 6 years now. I said if I'm not carrying my North American Arms, I'm carrying my Cal-Tech. I've been really happy with this gun. I have bought quite a few carry guns over the years. I have quite a few of them. And I just keep going back to my Kel-Tec. I've had other brands like Smith & Wessons and Hellcats, and I had a Colt, I had a Sig, but I just keep going back to the Kel-Tec. I love the polymer frame. I've got a bigger hand. It fits in my hand absolutely phenomenally. I like the trigger placement on it. Like I said, this is clear, it's unloaded, so I'm gonna pull the trigger, but it's got a long trigger pull because it doesn't have a standard safety on it like most firearms, but that long, about 9-pound trigger pull really makes up for it. It's got a front rail here. You can put a light or a laser or something on it. I never have. I've never found a need to. But I've been really happy with this. I got the OD green grip on it, which I actually had to hunt quite a while for. I really wanted the one in the OD green, or I was going to go with the Coyote tan or the Desert tan, whatever they call it. I ended up finding the OD green, so I snatched it. I bought this gun used for, again, about $200. And when I bought it, I don't think the previous owner had ever fired it. I mean, it still had the factory grease on the inside, and there was no fouling in the barrel. It was a great gun. And I've probably put about 2,500 rounds through it. It's for being a compact gun, it's very, very comfortable to shoot. It doesn't hurt my hand. I've had some other compacts, like my little Hellcat 380 that I have. Just hurts the hell out of my hand to shoot. And this one does not. So that's my PF9. I've got that. I carry that around in a Galco holster. I like this holster because I found it works great as a inner or outer the waistband holster. I carry it both ways depending on what I'm wearing. If I'm wearing a long coat, and that's usually when I carry this gun, is more in the winter time when I have a long coat on, my Carhartt, or at least a hoodie. This one conceals, you know, it's a lot easier to conceal in the winter. Every now and then I have a 1911 that I'll carry, but that's pretty rare. This one is an I819L Galco, and that fits the Kel-Tec PF9 perfectly. I found this case on clearance at a local gun shop for about, I think it was like $5, and I snatched it up not really knowing what I was going to use it for. And it ended up fitting my PF9 so well. I've been using this holster for about 3 years now. Now I'm starting to get a little wear on the edges, but overall it is held up amazingly well. I had a Kydex one before this that I liked, but I didn't like as much. It was a little uncomfortable against the skin. So that is the two pieces that I carry. Like I said, depending on, you know, pretty much it's a summer and a winter. And of course, gotta have the iPhone. I got this UAG case. Paid about $80 for it. I got it at Best Buy. I really like it. It's a lot thinner than the standard OtterBoxes that you get for these. And I had my old phone, I had a Samsung, I had the OtterBox on. And this is bigger than my Samsung, so by the time I put it in our box, it was huge to fit in my pocket. And when I'm at work, I carry my phone in my front shirt pocket. And with the iPhone 10 in the shirt pocket, it was way too bulky. So I switched over to this this UAG case. Really, really like it. I like the iPhone 10 pretty much altogether now, and I've been an Android guy for years. I had an iPhone, like my first ever smartphone was an iPhone. I wasn't impressed with it. I switched over to Android. I've had Android for the last 4 or 5 phones, and then crafty salesman at Best Buy talked me into switching over to the iPhone. I did, and I have no complaints. I have liked it ever since. So that pretty much wraps up what I've got here for my everyday carry. Outside of, I think I usually have a pen in my pocket most of the time. That's pretty much my everyday carry there. I have one of those Milwaukee hoodies that heats up. If you guys work outside or you're in the cold a lot, do yourself a favor, buy one of those. I've had one for 6 years now. My first one lasted me 5 years. My second one I've had for almost 2 years now. You know, it's one of these here. You know, you just push the button on the outside of it and lights up red.